Namaste, yogis. Welcome to the introduction to Ashtanga. The goal of this class is to teach you a practice that you can practice every day on a consistent basis. Ashtanga Vinyasa has a set series of poses that are done in a particular order. And I will show today some very basic modifications of these asanas and a sort of shortened version of these asanas. So ordinarily in Ashtanga Vinyasa, we will start standing, but today I'd like to start seated to do a little bit of warm up before we begin. We'll still start and end with the traditional prayer. Just know that normally when you start the Ashtanga Vinyasa sequence, you will start standing with your sun salutation A. Let's begin. Get a comfortable seat and close down the eyes. Feel the body relax into the space that it's occupying. The Sanskrit word abhyasa, clumsily translated to English, means practice. The etymology of this word means to sit again and again facing the goal. The goal of yoga, calming the mind. And so we sit, we do asana, we focus our gaze and our breath, all in an effort to calm the mind and merge with our true self. Begin with the mantra, call and response. Bring the hands to heart center. I'll say a verse, then you repeat with me. Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde, Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde, Sandarshita Svatma Sukhavabodhe, Sandarshita Svatma Sukhavabodhe, Nihashreyase Jangalikayamane, Nihashreyase Jangalikayamane, Samsara halahal mohashantye, Samsara halahal mohashantye, Avahu purushakaram, Avahu purushakaram, Shankachakra siddharinam, Shankachakra siddharinam, Sahasra shirsam svetam, Sahasra shirsam svetam, Pranamami Patanjali, Pranamami Patanjali, Hari Om. Come into Ujjayi breath, breathing now into your belly, chest, throat. Exhaling from throat, chest, belly. First, make the exhale noisy by constricting the muscles in the back of the throat. Let that constriction in the throat slow down the exhalation. And then use that same constriction as you inhale to make the inhale breath noisy as well. Set your intention, abhyasa, sitting again and again, facing a calm mind. All in an effort to calm the mind. With your next inhale breath, Let your belly and chest open up. Exhale, round the spine. Continue moving the spine with your own breath. Inhaling, opening, and exhaling, rounding. Warming up the spine before we begin the Ashtanga Vinyasa sequence. And as you move here, feel deeply into the muscles around the spine, the hips, the low back. Notice any areas of tightness, any areas of tension, and breathe into those. One more. Inhale to neutral and exhale, twist the spine to the right. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bring out the spine from the bottom to the top. Every inhale gets you taller. Every exhale twists you deeper, until even the neck and the eyes turn right. Inhale, come back to neutral, and as you exhale, twist left. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, begin the twist with the low spine. And with each exhale, work your way up. Inhale, bring space between the vertebra, and exhale, twist into that space. And inhale back to neutral. The next inhalation, drop the right hand, raise the left arm, and exhale, lean to the right. Left hand can come behind the head, right elbow moves towards the mat. Breathe into the left side of the rib cage. Keep space between the shoulder and the ear and keep opening and breathing here. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, other side. Right hand comes behind the head, left elbow moves towards the mat. Space between the ears and the shoulders. The gaze can be forward and up. Slow, deep ujjayi breath here, coming into the belly and chest. And inhale, rise up. Come to hands and knees. We'll go through a vinyasa to get to stand, and then we'll begin our sun salutation. So make your way into plank, nice straight line from the crown of the head to the heels. I'll go through 3 variations of the vinyasa that you can choose to use as you move throughout your practice. Variation number 1, find a nice strong plank here. Belly in, tailbone pointing towards the heels. First, lower your right elbow, then your left, finding a plank on your elbows. Then lower down, inhale for Sphinx. From Sphinx, exhale, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, press through hands and knees to child pose or downward facing dog. Option 2, come to plank. Lower the knees for modified plank. Nice straight line from the crown of the head to the knee. Lower down so that the elbows are right alongside the side body. Pause. Then lower yourself all the way down. Hands underneath the shoulders, elbows tight to the body. Inhale, baby cobra. For baby cobra, relax the glutes. Toenails press into the mat. Hands grip the mat, pulling the mat towards you so the heart can open to the front. With the exhale, press into hands and knees, child pose or downward facing dog. Option 3, come to plank. Full chaturanga here. Only do full chaturanga if your abdominals stay strong and you keep a nice straight line as you lower. The preferred option will be to lower the knees and go down to modified chaturanga. But if your chaturanga can look like this, as you lower down, the chest comes forward, you can hover here in a nice straight line with elbows right next to the body. Then you inhale to upward facing dog. Stay on the tops of the toes, hands underneath the shoulders. Again, pulling the heart forward, knees and thighs stay lifted. Exhale, downward facing dog. Choose a variation that works for you. From downward facing dog, inhale, walk the feet forward to the hands, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, Samasthiti. Now this is where the practice would begin at Ashtanga Vinyasa. I'm going to do the full vinyasa, but you choose the variation of vinyasa that works for you. Do not go past your limit, do not push, because when we go for a full chaturanga and we're not ready yet, number one, we can cause injury, and number two, you're not building the strength that you need to get into a full chaturanga. So I advise you to practice the modified version of the chaturanga, where you lower your knees and lower down, or the elbow plank that I showed you, either one. If you know you have a strong full chaturanga, then you can join along with me. Okay, Samasthiti. Feet are together and parallel to each other, arms beside the side body, fingers together in the Ashtanga practice. Gaze forward. Samasthiti means coming back to yourself. So every time we come to Samasthiti, it's a chance for us to collect ourselves, to collect our breath, come back to yourself. Ready? Inhale, rise the arms. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Keep the spine long as you can before folding forward. Inhale, half lift. Spine is long, gaze is forward. Plant the hands, step the feet back to your variation of a vinyasa. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths here. In downward facing dog, make sure that your hands are shoulder width apart, your feet are hips width apart. Your fingers are spread wide, your index fingers pointing forward, and the base of your index, pinky, and thumb are gripping the mat to create a suction in the palm of the hand. This suction creates a line of energy up into the arms and into the shoulders. The shoulder blades broaden, wrapping the armpits towards each other beneath you. Imagine pointing the eye of the elbow forward, lift the hips, and press the heels towards the mat. If the legs don't go straight or there's any rounding in the spine, then shorten the stance of the downward facing dog. Bend the knees and find a nice straight spine. Eventually, as the hamstrings, hips, and low back open, those heels will start to move towards the mat, the legs will get straight. And then at that point, the practitioner can move the feet a little bit farther away from the hand. And again, maybe find this bent knee, straight spine version, straighten out the legs, and eventually the heels move towards the mat. With your next inhalation, gaze towards your hands, step the feet forward, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, Samasthiti. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, rise arms overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, spine is long, leading with the heart, bringing the lower ribs towards the knees, forward fold. Hips over the ankles here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to your vinyasa. Exhaling as you lower down. Inhaling for your back bend, Sphinx baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, draw navel to spine, find downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Keep broadening the shoulder blades, relax the neck. Check in with your hands, fingertips pointing forward, fingers spread wide. Slow, deep Ujjayi breath. Inhale, gaze to the hands, step the feet forward, halfway lift, spine is long. Bend the knees here if you need to get the spine nice and long. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Samasthiti. One more time, Sun Salutation A, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Remember, you can bend your knees here. Plant the hands, step the feet back to plank. And as you exhale, your vinyasa. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Take a look at your knees. Are both of your kneecaps pointing forward? Check to make sure they're not rotated inward or outward. Check to make sure the feet are parallel to each other. Slow, deep breath. After your 5 breaths, you will inhale, step, or hop the feet to the hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Samasthiti. After 3 to 5, Sun Salutation A, you'll move to 3 to 5, Sun Salutation B. Today I'm going to go through 1, so we can take our time with the rest of the practice. Sun Salutation B, Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, rise, chair pose. Palms are together, fingers are together. Notice that my torso is perpendicular to the floor. So I'm not leaning forward, effectively loading my low back with unnecessary weight. Keep the torso nice and straight, bend the knees, arms up. I like to keep my feet together here so that my knees can rest together. But for some people, they like to have their feet hips width apart. It's more comfortable on their hips. So either one is perfectly fine here. So inhale, rise to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, your vinyasa. From downward facing dog, without skipping a beat, we'll bring the right foot forward between the hands, left heel rotates towards the mat. Hips stay square to the front. Left foot is at a 45-degree angle as we inhale, rise for warrior 1. Again, palms are together, fingers are together. We inhale, rise, and we exhale, vinyasa. From downward facing dog, left foot comes forward, right heel rotates to the mat. Again, check that your heels are in a line. Right foot is at a 45-degree angle, left foot pointing forward. Inhale, rise, warrior 1. Exhale, we come down, vinyasa. Here we hold our downward dog for 5 breaths. So again, check in with your alignment here. Check in with your breath. Are you focused on calming the mind? When you're ready, look towards the hands, step or hop the feet forward, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, chair pose. Exhale, Samasthiti. So you would do 3 to 5 rounds of this Surya Namaskar B. Today we'll just do the one. Inhale, take your feet to hips width apart. You can hop them apart or step them apart. Hands come to the hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hinge at the hips for forward fold. If the hamstrings are tight, you can bend the knees and rest the hands on the shins or a block if available. Otherwise, if the hamstrings are open, keep the legs straight, micro bend, never lock the knees. And as you exhale, hinge forward, take hold of the big toes with the first 2 fingers. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold, elbows come out to the side. 5 breaths. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, we'll go back down. If your knees are bent and your hands are resting on a block, just fold again. If the hamstrings are open, as you exhale, you're placing the palm of the hand under the sole of the foot. Forward fold. And 5 breaths. So to make sure the hips are over the ankles. Nice straight alignment. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release the hands to the hips. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, Samasthiti. With your next inhale, step the right foot back. You're turning to the back of your mat now. So your right foot points towards the back of your mat. Your left foot comes to a 45-degree angle, setting up for Trikonasana triangle pose. Open the hips to the long side of the mat. Arms to the side, shoulders relax. Inhale, and as you exhale, reach the right hand forward. Notice that my body isn't collapsing towards the right leg, but my left hip is staying open. Also notice that the right side body is staying straight and I'm not collapsing into it. So both side bodies stay straight. Nice parallel lines right here. Reach, reach, reach. And once you've reached as far as you can, just drop the right hand. Don't move the torso. Left arm reaches up. So you'll have there a nice straight line from the tailbone up to the center of the neck. The gaze can be forward or up. Keep opening that left hip. Keep bringing the lower right rib cage towards the foot. Five breaths here. And when you're finished, inhale, rise up, pivot left. As you exhale, reach the left arm forward. Remember, lengthen the side bodies. Reach, reach, reach. Lower the left hand, raise the right arm. Keep the side bodies the same, nice and parallel. 5 breaths here. Keep opening the right hip and bringing the lower left rib cage towards the foot, towards the left foot. Inhale, rise up. Pivot back to the right. Hands on the hips. This time, point the hips towards the back of the mat. Square the hips. For a revolved triangle, as you exhale, you're going to hinge forward. Keep tucking that right hip back to keep the hips square. Once you've hinged as much as you can, given the flexibility of the right hamstring, left hand comes to the outside of the right shin. Right arm reaches up for a twist. Gaze towards the right hand. Keep tucking right hip back. Lengthening from tailbone to crown on the inhale. On the exhale, twisting. Release the hands to the hips. Inhale, rise. Exhale, pivot left. So same thing, square the hips, just like they were headlights, towards the front of your mat now. Hands on hips, exhale, hinge. Right hand comes to the outside of the left shin. Left hand reaches up, and you're twisting left. Inhale, lengthen from tailbone to crown. Exhale, twist. Keep tucking left hip back. Release the hands to the hips. And inhale, rise. Exhale, Samasthiti. Take a moment to catch your breath. And when you're ready, inhale, step the right foot back again. This time finding a warrior two stance. Heels are in a line. Feet are perpendicular to each other. Hips are open to the side. Right knee is working to stay over the right ankle as the left hip opens. Arms out to the side. We're going into side angle now. So first option is to take the right elbow to the top of the right thigh. Now don't put any weight. Don't dump your weight into that elbow, but keep it nice and light. Left arm sweeps in front of you, so you have a nice straight line from the fingertips to the left foot. Option to stay here. Second option is to place the block on the outside of the right foot and rest your hand there. Again, don't dump. Keep staying strong, opening that left hip, press into the ball and the heel of each foot. Third option is to bring that right hand all the way to the mat. And again, wherever you are, keep opening the left hip. Inhale, lengthening, reaching. Press that right knee into the right shoulder if you're down on the floor. Inhale, rise up and switch legs. Arms to the side. Option one, left arm comes to the left thigh, right arm sweeps in front, nice straight lines here. Don't relax into that elbow. Stay strong in the core. Option two, hand to the block. Option three, all the way down to the floor. Keep opening that right hip and finding a nice straight line from fingertips to the right foot. If your hand is down, press the knee into the left shoulder. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, revolve side angle. Option one. Come all the way down to a low lunge. Sink the hips forward. Left hand comes to the inside of the right foot. Right arm reaches up for a twist. Option two. Come up onto the toes of the back foot. Same thing, left hand plants, right arm reaches up. And option three, lifting up into the lunge, taking the left elbow to the outside of the right knee and finding prayer hand. Option four, left hand comes down, right arm reaches forward. After 3 to 5 breaths there, inhale, rise up and pivot left. Again, finding your variation. So lowering down into the lunge, right hand plants, left arm rises. Or toe tuck, knee up. Or right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Bringing the hands to prayer and pressing the palms towards the center of the chest. Option four, right hand comes down, left arm reaches forward. Unwind the twist, rise up, Samasthiti. Inhale, step the right foot back. Bring wide leg forward fold. So if you know the hips and hamstrings are quite tight, widen the stance here quite a bit. Turn the ball of the foot in. If the hamstrings and hips are pretty open, shorten the stance. Bring the ball of the feet in. With hands on hips, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Bring the hands to a block or the floor. Stay here, or inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hands, fingertips in line with the toes. Bring the head towards the mat. If the hamstrings are pretty tight here, feel free to stay in this variation, keeping legs straight, lengthening through the spine, shining the heart forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, rise up. Release the hands behind you, clasp the hands, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold back down, open through the shoulders, and breathe. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, Namaste. The next inhale, step the right foot back again. Point the hips towards the back of the mat. Heels in line, left foot at a 45-degree angle. Setting up for pyramid now. Option 1, hands on the hips. Option 2, hold the elbows. Option 3, reverse prayer. Wherever you are, inhale, lengthen. Tuck the right foot back as you square the hips towards the back of the mat. Exhale, hinge. Only go so far as you feel your hamstring, and you can lengthen from tailbone to crown. Inhale, rise up. Keep the arms the same as you pivot left. Square the hips towards the front of the mat, and exhale, hinge. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, Namaste. Next up is balancing poses. So you can stay at the front of the mat and we'll turn to face you. Take the feet hips width apart. Option 1 will be tree pose. So find a drishti, a point of focus, something that is at least a mat's length away from you and something that's not moving. Focus your eyes on that point. Inhale, rise the arms to the side. Shift the weight into the left foot and kickstand the right. Stay here, or bring the right foot to the calf, or bring it all the way up above the knee for tree. Option to stay here, keeping your vision focused on that point. Option to bring the hands to the heart. Option to come into half lotus. If this is available seated, then you can do it standing. Stay in tree, or if you're in half lotus, you can work for the bind. Right hand comes behind, and if the foot's not available, you can hold the left elbow. Option to stay here or fold forward. Inhale, rise halfway, hand to the hip. Inhale, rise all the way up. Those of you that are in tree, release the foot now. Come back to feet hip distance apart. Reach the arms out to the side and shift the weight into the right foot, kickstand the left. Stay here or come to the calf, all the way up above the knee, or half lotus. Work with your tree, or option to work with the bind, and then folding forward. Keep your focal point. Inhale, rise if you're folded. Release the bind, and tree. Release the left foot down. Second balancing posture, hand to big toe pose. Inhale, rise the arms to the side, shift the weight into the left foot. Option 1, raise the right knee, take hold of the front of the right shin. Be careful not to let your shoulder come forward, but keep it back in line with the left. Option to stay here, or if you have a strap, you can wrap it around the ball of the right foot, or you can take hold of the toe, keep the leg bent to keep the shoulder square. If the hamstring flexibility is there where you can rise up and keep that right shoulder in line with the left, you can go there. Whatever variation is available to you today, stay with that. Inhale, open that right leg to the side, gaze left. Inhale back to the front. Release the knee, hands to hip, straighten out the leg and hold. And release. Lift and spread the toes. Find a firm foundation. Arms to the side, shift the weight to the right foot. Raise the left knee, take hold of the front of the left shin. If you did it on the other side, take a strap to the ball of the foot or the big toe, keeping the knee bent, shoulder back. Inhale, open to the side, gaze right. Inhale back to the front. Straighten out the leg, hand to hip, hold. And release. For sake of time, we're going to skip the next couple postures and move down to the mat. So using a sun salutation A, inhale, rise arms overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, your vinyasa. From your downward facing dog, hop the feet between the hands. It can look something like this, where you bend your knees and cross your ankles and sit down on the mat. Stretch the legs out in front. Flex the toes. Now, if you experience any rounding in the spine here, sit on a block. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and hold here for 5 breaths. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, start to hinge forward. Notice that my spine stays straight. Lead with the heart. Stay here. Or you can use a strap around the ball of the foot, or if the toes are available, you can go there. Only if the spine stays nice and straight and the low ribs can reach the knees, then you can have a little bend in the spine. Hold for 5 breaths. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the hips, and inhale, rise up. Place the hands behind you now. Option 1, bend the knees, take the soles of the feet to the mat. Fingertips are pointing towards the hips. Inhale for reverse tabletop, lifting the hips in line with the knees and the head. Option 2 is reverse plank, keeping the legs nice and straight. And as you inhale and rise the hips, you're pointing the toes towards the mat. Head in line with the spine. Hold for 3 to 5 breaths. And exhale. Release. Now in between each of the seated postures in the Ashtanga Vinyasa series, we have a vinyasa. So when you go to do your vinyasa, you will take your hands to the outside of your hips. You will cross your shins, bring your knees up into your chest, and think about lifting yourself up and walking the feet behind you. Yes, it's a little bit hard. It uses the core strength. Then find your plank and your vinyasa. Pop the feet back forward and take a seat. For the next posture, let's do Janu Sirsasana, bringing the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Again, square the torso over the left leg. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hinge forward. Keep the spine long, lead with the heart. A couple of deep breaths here. Inhale, rise. Option to do your vinyasa, keeping the hands beside your hips, cross the ankle or cross the shin. Press and lift yourself up, your vinyasa. Meet me back seated when you're ready. Now the left leg is bent, sole of the left foot on the inside of the right leg. Right foot is flexed, torso squared over the right leg. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, hinge forward. Walking the hands forward, lead with the heart, nice straight spine. Stay here. Inhale, slowly rise up. Option to take a vinyasa, cross the shins, hands beside the hips, press and lift. Keep the feet back behind you. Vinyasa. And hop the feet back between the hands. There's a couple more seated postures here. We're going to skip them for today and come into the boat pose, Navasana. So taking the soles of the feet to the mat, lean back with your torso long until you feel your abdominals engaged. Keep the heart lifted. Don't round through the upper back. Heart stays lifted. Arms are parallel to each other, parallel to the floor. Option to stay here, point the toes, come light on the feet. Option to bring the knees up, keeping them bent, or straightening out the legs all the way. Hold for 3 to 5 breaths. Then cross the ankles, press and lift yourself up, and back to boat. 3 to 5 breaths. And cross the shin, press and lift yourself up. One more time with both. This time, press and lift yourself up. Walk the feet back. Vinyasa. Hop your feet between the hands. Again, we'll skip a couple of poses here, and we'll come to Baddha Konasana. So take the soles of the feet together. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hinge forward, lead with the heart. The elbows can press into the inner thighs. You can open the feet like a book, pressing the outer edges of the feet towards each other, and breathe. Inhale, slowly rise up. Option to take the vinyasa here, pressing your hands beside the hips. Cross the shins, press and lift yourself up. Feet back for your vinyasa. Meet me back at seated. Take the feet wide apart. Keep the feet flexed here, lift and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, start to moving forward. Notice the spine stays straight and the hips stay grounded. Inhale, rise slowly up. Option to take a vinyasa. Press and lift. And then come back to seated. This time lie flat on your back. If you have a strap, it comes in handy here. You can always use a sarong or a towel. We're going to rise the right leg. You will take the strap across the ball of the foot and hold here. If it's accessible to hold the big toe, keeping the shoulder grounded onto the mat, then you can come here. Wherever you are, breathe into the hamstring. If you're easily reaching the toe, as you exhale, rise the forehead to meet the chin. 3 to 5 breaths here. Exhale, drop that right foot out to the side, gaze left. Keep the left hip grounded, using the left hand to press into the left hip. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, forehead to shin. And release. Switch legs. Again, take a strap to the ball of the foot. Or if the big toe is available, you can take it. If it's easily available, exhale, rise the forehead towards the chin. Exhale, release the left leg to the side, look right. Keep right hip grounded, press into the right hip with the right hand. Inhale, rise. Exhale, head to chin. And release. From here, we'll move into our back bend. So I'll cue bridge first, and then I'll cue wheel. You'll do 3 back bends of your choice. So for bridge, your feet are hips width apart. Your heels are close enough that your fingertips can touch them. Your knees are also hips width apart. And as you inhale, press the low back into the mat. With each inhalation, peel first the glutes, and then vertebra by vertebra, peel the spine off the mat. Push into your thighs to relax the glutes. Stay here in bridge, or if wheel is in your practice, the palms of the hands can come to the mat behind the shoulders. If it is a wheel, you'll first do bridge, and then you'll press into the hands, continue lifting the hips up. And push the weight towards your armpits. When you're ready to lower back down, back to bridge, lower vertebra by vertebra. Rest for a moment between each bridge that you do. Prepare for the second bridge. Press low back into mat. Slowly peel the spine, lifting up. Stay in bridge, or practice your wheel.
3 to 5 deep breaths. Release yourself down slowly. Breath. And prepare for one last back bend. Slowly peel the spine off the mat. Stay in your bridge. Or come to wheel. Slowly release yourself back down, vertebra by vertebra. Walk the feet out to the side, bring these together right here. Or if you did full wheel, go ahead and come back up to seated. Legs stretch out and a soft forward fold. Option to take a vinyasa. Make your way back to seated. Lie down on your back. For the inversion, we'll do shoulder stand. Be sure not to turn your head from side to side as you do this. Watch my cueing and then practice on your own. So for shoulder stand, keep the head looking towards the feet. Knees come to the chest. Take your hands to your low back. Rock side to side to bring the elbows closer together as you walk the hands up the back. Once you've walked your hands as high as they'll go, straighten out the legs one at a time or both at the same time. Hold shoulder stand as long as you like. 10 breaths, 20 breaths. When you're ready to get down from shoulder stand, you can lower the feet behind your head in 12. If the feet touch the mat, you can release the hands. Otherwise, keep the hands on the low back. 5 breaths in 12. Next up, bend the knees towards the ears. Hands flat on the mat. 5 breaths. From here, you can lower yourself slowly back onto your back. Your turn to practice. Take your time with your shoulder stand. There's no need to push, and there's no need to rush. Whenever you finish the shoulder stand, we'll counter with switch, lying down on the back. Rise the upper body, lift the chest like there's a string on your heart, lifting you towards the heavens. Elbows are on the mat. Keep lifting through the heart, drop the crown of the head to the mat. Shift back. Keep lifting through the heart. 3 to 5 breaths there. And then lift and release the chest to the mat. You can hug the knees into the chest and relax the low back. Now we'll do our closing prayer before Shavasana. So you can come to seated position. Normally we would vinyasa to stand and do the prayer standing, just like we would in the beginning. But for today, let's sit. Hands to the heart. Vasti Prajapya Paripalayantam
Vasti Prajabhya Paripalinantam Nyayena Margena Mahi Mahisa Nyayena Margena Mahi Mahisa Go Brahmanebhya Subhamasunityam Go Brahmanebhya Subhamasunityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om. Make your way to Shavasana and stay there as long as you need. Spread the feet away from the side body, spread the arms away from the chest. I'll let you know when we reach 1 hour mark. Feel free to stay in Shavasana a bit longer. We'll begin to slowly deepen the breath. Move the hands, move the feet, hug knees into the chest, and rock. Moving on to the side body, and then pressing yourself up to seated. Thanks for joining me in this powerful practice today. And may the rest of your day be full of light, of love, of peace, and of truth.